Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the greatest scam ever. I know, it's a bit of an oxymoron. How can a game be great, but also be a scam? Well, that's not exactly what I mean. You're gonna find out though from the controversial campaign,
No! God, please, no! No! No!
to the all-new Zombies mode,
Move away from me! Get away from me! I hate you! I hate all of you!
to the promising multiplayer.
I'm the only console player in this lobby.
I spawn die! 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 Spawn die!
Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and hit that like button if you enjoy my first ever full game review. Lucky you. So first of all, consider this review a continuation of my previous video, why Modern Warfare 3 is the biggest scam ever, which you guys loved, and thank you for all the amazing support on that one. But look at this. It was leaked by insiders that Modern Warfare 3 was developed in little over just 1 year by Sledgehammer Games. And some people at Sledgehammer Games say MW3 was originally pitched to them as an expansion, but quickly turned into a full premium game. Additionally, staff felt betrayed by Activision because they were promised they wouldn't have to go through another shortened timeline after COD Vanguard. So everything I talked about in that last video about MW3 being a scam was confirmed not too long after. Even Charlie Intel admitted it was supposed to be a $70 DLC, and he usually defends Call of Duty. Not to mention, you download Modern Warfare 3 straight off of Modern Warfare 2, literally DLC. I just wanted to clear things up about how Modern Warfare 3 is a cash grab scam. So the stage has been set. How is Modern Warfare 3 the greatest scam though? Find out right now. Enjoy Juan's full review. Let's start out with the scam part of Modern Warfare 3, shall we? With that being said, Modern Warfare 3's campaign is 100% the worst in COD history. It quite possibly might even be the worst experience I have ever had in a single player mode. Spoiler warning, by the way. I want to start off with saying you could clearly tell Activision intended for this game to be DLC from the jump. The campaign only lasted about 3 hours. The first mission was literally already reusing assets from Verdansk with the Gulag and the prison map, so I feel for Sledgehammer there, only having a little over a year to develop this game after taking orders from Activision. But it's the laziest put together campaign we have ever seen from Call of Duty so far, and it's proven by the reused Warzone maps, the OG Verdansk, and the new upcoming Urzikstan map. They copy and pasted parts of the Warzone maps, even down to specific structures and buildings. You could tell there just wasn't much thought or time put into the development of this mode. The storyline was just totally empty, and it all goes back to the lazy writing. I'm honestly starting to be convinced that AI wrote this script. It was so damn bad, and it didn't give me any feeling. There was no soul to it. The beginning of the campaign is supposed to create some sort of excitement. There should be a ton of action. But I felt like I just didn't really do anything throughout the opening scene of the prison break. Sure, its main intention was to introduce Makarov, but like, we don't even know why this is happening. Makarov was shaping out to be a pretty badass villain from the beginning, which provided MW3's storyline with tons of potential. Initially, I was thinking to myself, surely it must get better, right? And progressively over time, I just became more and more confused, lost, and overall frustrated. Why was Makarov doing this? What did he even accomplish? Why is it the same old generic plot about stopping some missiles? But not only missiles, missiles with gas. Like, wow, hats off to you for the innovation there, Call of Duty. And I haven't even gotten started on the open combat missions. Absolutely brutal. Again, you could tell these missions were fillers. I felt like I was playing Spec Ops or DMZ. They completely killed immersion within this game. It took you out of the story, even though there wasn't much of one to begin with. In each of these open combat missions, you are separated individually, with main characters such as Captain Price, Ghost, and Farah to complete the mission. So you're all alone completing these missions with no character dialogue, nothing. At times I was forgetting I was playing campaign. Like I said, it felt like I was playing Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2 or DMZ from Warzone. But as we know, Sledgehammer Games was rushed to release this game. So they clearly decided on throwing these missions in there to eat up enough time so that would serve as passable. Well, if this campaign serves as passable to you as a consumer who most likely spent $70 to $100, I don't know what to tell you, I really don't. No Russian turned out to be a total tease as well. It's funny because the flashback mission to Task Force capturing Makarov in Verdansk at the stadium was closer to No Russian than the actual mission in the plane where Makarov and his men sabotage a plane and attach a bomb to a former soldier. Like, what is this writing, dude? And oh yeah, Graves is alive. Remember how you murked that dude in the tank in Modern Warfare 2? No, you didn't.
Unfucking believable. So, you missed me? Well, technically, you did, didn't you?
Innovative writing. That's some high-level AI you got there, Call of Duty. Amazing writing. And you know what I love even more? how you killed off Soap. Like, what the How do you not only kill off a fan favorite character, but do it like that? Things are going smoothly, we just defused the bomb that supposedly would have wrecked all of Europe. Then Vladimir Houdini Makarov just appears out of nowhere and domes my boy Soap. I was baffled. After all that, the dude ended up getting away too. I'm telling you, Houdini. So buy Modern Warfare 4 in 2026 for $100 because we're gonna chase Makarov around again, and hopefully it'll be longer than 3 hours. And again, I'm sorry, but Price didn't give a No one did. It's just one of those scenes that made me feel like Activision wanted the developers at Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward to experiment how well AI could write a script and execute an entire campaign mode. Well, I got news for you, Activision. It was utter Never do it again. I wonder if Call of Duty was willing to screw this campaign up in MW3 so they'd have a new selling point for COD 2024. Look guys, Black Ops Gulf War is getting 4 years of development time, the most ever in COD history. So the campaign is going to be amazing, which I mean I hope it is, but that would be scummy if true. And my gosh, that scene of Price, Ghost, and Gaz dumping Soap's ashes was so cringe. You can't tell me that wasn't written by AI, come on. Activision misled Sledgehammer to ship this unfinished mode out to sell within a year as a premium release when it clearly felt like anything but that. I absolutely loved the ending too. It was very impactful to see Captain Price kill Shepard in the most lame way possible, while they were alone in his dark office. Was I supposed to feel something? The entire plot was just rushed and poorly written. Playing this campaign was a chore, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I felt forced to finish it to make this review. It was that bad. There wasn't really one mission where I was blown away, aside from how bad they were. Seriously though, the best mission was probably with the AC-130, but there's nothing special about it. Also, is it just me, or does it feel like missions were rigged at times? There are times where I feel like I'm doing the same thing as the last time, yet it only works once. Like that mission when you play as Laswell, and you have to sneak through the base to get that card from the general. I can't tell you how many times I did the same exact thing over and over again, but apparently that one time out of 50, 100 was different. But it also makes me suspect that this is what Call of Duty was going for all along, according to them flaunting that MW3's campaign had the most time spent playing campaign. It's funny when also taking into account that it's the shortest campaign in COD history. I don't know, it just feels a little suspicious to me, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. But overall, this felt like a marketing campaign, no pun intended, for the new Warzone map, Urzikstan, and the possible return of Verdansk. Kinda like how Fortnite recently executed their Fortnite OG event with the nostalgic, fan-favorite map. I would not recommend anyone play this mode unless you're a masochist, especially now that you know that the game was a scam, as they marketed this as a premium release when the campaign proves that to be false. With all that being said, let's move on to a topic more worthwhile, MW3 Zombies. Now, for the Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, or better known as Treyarch's MWZ, the mode I was most shocked with in MW3, in a good way. However, MWZ still raises serious concern for the future of zombies and threatens the traditional round-based concept. It exposes a trend in the gaming industry that worries me about the future of COD Zombies. So let's cover all of it, but let's start with what I love about MWZ. MWZ is a combination of Black Ops Cold War's Outbreak Zombies mode and DMZ from Warzone. We knew that this was going to be the new concept Treyarch was going for prior to MW3's release, but now we're able to fully soak in the reimagined Zombies experience through MWZ. First, I want to address the camos. MWZ's camo grind completely gives you legitimate incentive to play zombies, I'll admit. I would argue the Zombies camos are better than the multiplayer camos. I mean, who wouldn't want to rock the Borealis camo or the bioluminescent camo for MW2 weapons? Absolutely beautiful, and you wear that pride of earning those camos like a badge of honor. And the challenges are not unreasonable either, plus it makes weapon progression way easier, especially when it comes to multiplayer. I found out quick that Zombies is a great way to level up your weapons rather than starting from scratch in multiplayer. That it's miserable, trust me. But we'll get into that in a bit when we dive into the multiplayer experience fully. But now let's dive into the actual gameplay that I personally enjoyed. I appreciate the level of difficulty progressing from Zone 1 to Zone 2 to Zone 3. At each level, you're introduced to new bosses, and zombies become faster and stronger. And if you want to pack-a-punch your weapon, you're only able to upgrade once per zone. For instance, you can only earn PAP 2 in Zone 2 and PAP 3 in Zone 3. It requires a certain level of difficulty and strategy that I appreciate about MWZ's progression system. Contracts are essentially the center of the entire concept of zombies, much like DMZ. Sure, it's open world, and you can run around and do whatever, but if you genuinely want objectives to enhance your abilities, contracts are the best part and the most fun I've had. There are multiple contracts you can initiate, with some of the favorites being the Raid Weapon Stash contract, where you drill into a safe and fight off incoming zombies until the time runs out, to the Spore Control contract, where you collect inhibitors, place one around each spore, and wait until they break the spores to make them vulnerable to damage so that you can eliminate them, all while fighting off a horde of zombies. I love the action. And finally to the Escort contract, where you escort a tank to each location and protect it from zombies. Pretty simple. And there are multiple other contracts, but I feel I should mention the Ether Extraction contract. The objective in this one is to disarm 3 rockets at different locations while fighting not only zombies, but bots as well, mercenaries. But that's not all. There's a time limit. The reason I bring this up is because I want to warn you to not try this solo, at least on your first rodeo in MWZ. Trust me, it did not end well for me. But playing solo is definitely enjoyable enough for sure, purely because it's the easiest to farm zombies to get XP. Although it may be a bit easier to farm, I still enjoy and prefer playing in a party with friends. It's just a whole lot more fun, and you'll get some funny moments along the way.
One, get in!
Get in, oh shit. Oh. I love that animation.
What the hell?
What was that?
I wasn't watching where I was going. I was just seeing you get into the car as I was driving. It distracted me.
I know, that was the weirdest animation.
I love it. Keep that in the game, Treyarch. I love it.
Schematics are another interesting aspect that gives you more incentive in completing contracts. Schematics enable permanent progression of crucial items. This includes the ability to spawn in with perks, wonder weapons, ammo mods, and Ethereum, which upgrades your weapon strength from uncommon rarity to legendary rarity. For instance, you can earn the ability to spawn in with a perk like Juggernog or Stamina Up after completing a contract and collecting it as a reward. Or you can complete outside activities such as Ether Nests and Strongholds to acquire schematics from Ether loot caches and mercenary loot caches. But your best bet of acquiring schematics is through completing contracts. And lastly, of all the things I appreciated about MWZ is the fact that it's PvE, unlike DMZ, which is PvP. It makes things a lot less stressful, which in turn creates a more relaxing atmosphere. You know, outside of the psychotic mangler that's rushing at you full speed. But I just like how teams can opt to pick you up if you go down, and you can actually help each other with contracts and whatnot. PvE works well for MWZ, and hopefully they have no plans to change that going forward. Now, it's time to address the BAD of MW3 Zombies. I already mentioned it exposes a bigger trend in the gaming industry that worries me for the future of COD Zombies. But before I get into that, I want to give a little complaint about something way less significant, but it's something I hope Treyarch takes into consideration: removing the time limit. Kinda like how round-based zombies are designed to be infinite, I wish MWZ were like that too. I don't want to feel like I'm rushed to complete a certain amount of contracts to earn enough points for upgrade that I need to survive in more difficult zones, like 2 and 3. I want the freedom to take my time and enjoy my experience rather than having to speedrun an hour in Zone 1 so that I can dip my toe in Zone 2 and get absolutely obliterated because I don't have enough weapons or perks yet. Because I've had games where I got crap rewards from contracts and it restricted me from being able to compete in the next zone and I was screwed. Obviously you can make it work, but I just prefer MWZ without that damn timer. Alright, that's enough nitpicking. Now it's time to cover the biggest problem with MWZ. It was something I realized after playing MWZ for just a few matches. Sure, I was enjoying my time, learning the game more, playing on a brand new open world zombies experience, and experiencing all those cool features I listed earlier, but then it hit me. This is gonna get boring quick. How many times can you play on the same map, completing the same missions? Now the rebuttal to that would be, but it's open world, Juan. It's the biggest map and the biggest experience in Call of Duty Zombies history. Yes, I get that. But does biggest really mean the best the devs could give you? It all goes back to this open world trend in gaming. For some games it works. One of my favorites being Red Dead Redemption 2, a single player game, a masterpiece. Rockstar utilized the open world feature to shape RDR2's identity using stunning graphics of nature back in the Wild West. It worked because it fit the theme of the game. In Call of Duty, it seems like the developers are using open world as a cop-out for providing less content on launch and throughout the game's lifecycle. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card that live service games love to take advantage of. Think about it. If Call of Duty provides the players with the biggest zombies map in COD history, it enables them the excuse of, it's the biggest zombies experience in COD history. What more do you want? Then they don't have to update the game regularly, other than fix bugs and glitches which are guaranteed to come up because, again, the developers know they can get away with releasing the game unfinished. We know MW3 was rushed as a whole. The campaign was originally intended to be DLC. The multiplayer is a DLC fixed version of MW2. So why wouldn't Activision take the same approach to zombies? Do the least amount of work to make the most amount of money. Copy and paste a new Warzone map to use as a new zombies map so that you don't have to actually create any new maps. Maybe add perks and wonder weapons over each season, but is that really enough to keep the game interesting and keep the player base satisfied and on the game? It just leads to the game becoming stale over time, with nothing new or game-changing enough being added. Where's the innovation? Now, round-based zombies reportedly may very well be coming to MW3 Zombies somewhere around Season 2, and I'd be very interested to see if Treyarch brings back some classic all-time zombies maps, considering Call of Duty is celebrating 20 years of the franchise. So why not? That would shake things up a bit and give zombies more variety to keep things fresh. But this open world concept Call of Duty is running with leads me to believe they may just keep this model of a round-based, just because simply putting that open world label on it attracts so many players. Even if the content is pretty lackluster and becomes stale after so many times playing on it. It comes down to preference, but to me, the fact that these developers are exploiting that at this point rubs me the wrong way. It's total laziness. But if you have not tried MWZ yet, I would recommend you try it. I believe at its core, it's a solid game mode, but again, does it really have longevity? How much does Treyarch plan to add to keep the game fun and engaging while they work on their own annual COD release for 2024, which according to recent leaks, it'll be Black Ops Gulf 4. I have my praises, my justified complaints, and my legit concerns, but overall, I'd say Zombies is the best part of Modern Warfare 3, and with that, let's use that as leeway into MW3's most highly anticipated and controversial mode that most of you probably came to hear, multiplayer. Before we dive into MW3's multiplayer, I just want to remind you to subscribe real quick if you enjoyed the video so far, and hit that like button, or Activision will come down your chimney, take your $70, and leave you with the latest Call of Duty Battle Pass. Also, comment IMD1 to solidify that you're a legend. Okay, 'tis time. Alright, so the Modern Warfare 3 2023 multiplayer. Oh boy, this is going to be a mixed wave of emotions. But before we get into the rougher parts of MW3, let's talk about what Sledgehammer did right in multiplayer. First, I want to talk about something that we all can universally agree on, the Camo grind. The Mastery Camos in Modern Warfare 3 are absolutely worth the grind. I appreciate the new concept of gold, with Gilded, as well as the new Interstellar Mastery Camo that Sledgehammer created. The challenges are also fairly easy to complete, similar to MW2, so that makes it more enjoyable as well. You also gotta love the Breacher drone, or as I like to call it, my Pelican. Fly, Pelican, fly! Oh, the Pelican, you gotta kill the Pelican. And my Mosquito. Mosquito! Seriously though, I love the Mosquito drone. I used it all the time back in BO2 when I'd run through low streaks, as well as the new streak, the Swarm and the EMP, which I also used to run back in BO2, so I'm just reliving my glory days right now, and it's just amazing. Moving on to another universally cherished aspect of Modern Warfare 3, the maps. Is it scummy that Activision withheld the OG MW2 maps from MW2 2022 only to sell them for full price in MW3? Yes. However, you gotta admit that it is a nice feeling knowing you are guaranteed to have good playable maps on launch that many of us are familiar with. The nostalgia is real, and the new players can now experience that with us. I also really appreciate the remasters of a couple maps in particular, Terminal being one of them. Beautiful rendition of the classic map. Underpass was also greatly improved in terms of Sledgehammer brightening up the map. As a result, visibility is so much better than it was in OG MW2, and the map looks way better, looks beautiful. So yeah, MW2 2009 maps are a win for MW3 2023. It was also really cool to see the familiar maps Sledgehammer brought back in War Mode, Candor Hideout from Modern Warfare 2019, Crossfire from COD 4, and Countdown from COD 4. I assume these maps will be added into MW3 in future seasons, so that'll be really cool to see in 6v6 multiplayer, if possible. I also like meat. I also really appreciate the fact that these names, the new maps they added into Season 1, they are one name, they're one word, not like Shena, border crossing, like, what is that?
What the hell is even that?
Just keep it to a simple name and make the map small and fun and enjoyable, and that is what they tried to replicate with these new maps that they added in Season 1. I will applaud Sledgehammer for that, especially for meat. We all love meat. Perks are so much better in MW3. Gone with MW2's broken perk package system. Sure, the gear-based concept is a bit different, but it still works fundamentally. Being able to run Dead Silence and Ghost again, simultaneously like in Cold War, feels so good. Dude, again, it's sad that we even have to beg for this from the developers, but it's still nice to have them in the game. As a dude who likes to aimlessly bum rush, Dead Silence helps me a lot, so that the enemy can't hear my elephant footsteps from across the damn map. Gunplay is massively improved from last year in MW2. It's way more fun because it just feels a lot more freeing. Shooting just feels a lot smoother, and I personally prefer the more arcadey gunshot sounds. I know many prefer MW2's realistic style, but let's be real. We got Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg running around like the Energizer Bunny on crack. Call of Duty is not realistic, get that out of your mind. So let's just accept that now before someone throws a temper tantrum. Although that's probably too late by now. Strafe speeds have increased, resulting in an overall faster and smoother performance in gunplay, which leads into the next discussion, and this one gets heated in the COD community, MW3's movement. I know this is an ongoing debate, and you'll probably be dueling it out in the comment section, but movement feels so fluid in Modern Warfare 3, very reminiscent of Modern Warfare 2019. Yes, it is faster, and it can be a headache most of the time, with these TTV movement lords bunny hopping and nut dragging across the map every time they see a shadow and hear a pin drop. But I personally prefer the game to be faster, and I like that it creates a skill gap. If you don't want to bunny hop or drag your nuts around the map, I highly recommend trying out hardcore mode. I never thought I'd be saying this. It's funny because I've never been a hardcore player, but it just plays so much better than core if you ask me. Hardcore is actually way closer to the OG feel of COD than core, I swear. The game slows down a fair amount, but not to the point where you're playing Modern Warfare 2 2022 on one of those battlefield maps. There's still a ton of action, and the time to kill basically speeds up to a similar level of MW2 in core. It's actually hilarious. The hardcore players are probably cussing me out right now for letting y'all in on the secret, so yeah, sorry boys, but the people deserve to know. Although there are a lot of positive aspects of Modern Warfare 3, the negatives may even outweigh them all. Let's begin with the annoying unlock system that literally no one in the COD community asked for. In order to unlock 58 armory, that includes weapons, perks, kill streaks, attachments, tacticals, lethals, and field upgrades. Basically everything other than operator skins, which you have to pay $20 for. Thanks, Activision. You are required to complete either 3 daily challenges or win 3 matches. You may be saying, oh, that's easy, what are you complaining about, Juan? No, it ain't that easy. There's a twist to it. You have to individually activate whichever item you intend to unlock. For example, if you want to unlock the Covert Sneakers, the Dead Silence perk, you need to activate the Armory unlock itself so that all progress counts toward it. If you do not activate the Armory unlock for any single item, wins will not count toward it. Some items may even require you to complete 8 daily challenges, which is absurd. By the time you're done with the challenges, you already have 3 wins, so what's the point? And I don't want to have to use claymores and compromise my preferred playstyle just to unlock a single attachment. But I mean, I get why Sledgehammer implemented this new unlock system, for increased retention and engagement, which was apparently their main objective all along in Call of Duty. Still, I hate it and I think it's garbage. Visibility, although improved from the beta, remains an issue. I still catch at times where my teammates' nameplates disappear, and there are still times where I get frustrated due to enemies blending into certain parts of the maps. It also doesn't help that everyone's running around with their 21 Savage and Homelander skins, so it occasionally makes it extremely difficult to distinguish the players. And I'm disappointed to say overall, kill streaks in MW3 are boring. Many of the streaks are essentially ported over from MW2 other than my Mosquito Drone, the Carpet Bomber, the new Swarm, and EMP added in Season 1, and the Useless Guardian. Not even kidding, I haven't run into one game of MW3 with a dude using a Guardian. Not to mention, even if you do get a gunship, it's way too easy to shoot down. If you're on the receiving end of getting curb stomped, then you'd like that the high streaks are easy to shoot down, but it just gives you less incentive in earning those high streaks. I'm sure they'll add more streaks as the game's life cycle continues. The annoying part about this is Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer nerf streaks for the sake of the noobs, so that the streaks don't end up determining the entire game. Something I wish too is the Mosquito Drone being a tier above the UAV, so that I could use both and just run through low streaks like the good old BO2 days. Weapon balancing is still a problem as well. Much like MW2, ARs dominate MW3. I understand that some weapons get patched, but did that really change all that much? Let's be honest. ARs like the MCW, the SVA, and the DJ58 absolutely shred along with the other rifles. I honestly don't really care to use anything else unless I'm going for camos. Bugs were also a problem, shocker. It's a live service game, what do you expect? But seriously though, how do you mess up perks functioning correctly? There was this whole fiasco over EOD not working properly for some people, not all, which made it even more confusing. It made me feel a little better though, because I swear, Tac Mask wasn't working for me at all, so I just took it off and equipped the Ghost perk. Comment what bugs you guys ran into, but I mean, it's another Call of Duty yearly release, and it's live service. Again, what do you expect? It sucks, but it's the reality, and I'm tired of having to address a completely unnecessary problem, and avoidable. Now, can we discuss MW3's horrid user interface? My gosh, this UI is a freaking nightmare. The first thing you see when you load up the game is Call of Duty shoving the battle pass, cosmetics, and events all up in your face. And after that, you load into the new COD HQ, and it has been received poorly by the community. It baffles me that Call of Duty not only doubles down on this horizontal Hulu interface, but they somehow make it even worse. At the top here, they have the What's Hot tab, which you need a magnifying glass to be able to read, but then you look at what's featured in it, and it's a bunch of multiplayer playlists. Then you keep scrolling to the right, and then there's zombies. So then you're like, oh, that's where I go for zombies. I just have to remember to scroll all the way to the top, to the right. Wrong. You scroll down, and then there's each game mode for Modern Warfare 3. Then you scroll down again, and it brings you to Warzone, then to MW2, and lastly to Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, and Vanguard, all in these small icons. At the end of surfing through it, I'm just like, I thought I launched Modern Warfare 3. Activision is shoving this new COD HQ right in your face to advertise all their games as much as possible. And it's honestly pretty overwhelming even after seeing it over and over. Way too much clutter. Classes are still laid out horizontally, as well as only showcasing 3 friends at the top of your friends list. Like, why 3? I constantly ask myself why we can't return to the old vertical UI in old Call of Duty games, but then I remind myself every time, it makes too much sense. Now, it's time to address the elephant in the room, skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking is the absolute worst it has ever been in Modern Warfare 3. It single-handedly ruins the MW3 experience. From the first time I played, I was going up against COD prodigies, jumping and sliding across the map. SBMM is nothing new to COD fans, but my gosh, it 100% got cranked up. I don't remember the beta feeling nearly this sweaty. I feel like I have to try my absolute hardest each game just to do normal, or even go positive some games. And it doesn't help that the system has broken the spawns as well. I can't figure it out. A lot of the times, as soon as I see TTV in someone's clan tag, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. SBMM sucks all the fun out of MW3 and turns every match as if each player's lives are actually on the line in real life. I genuinely feel burnt out at times after playing one match, as if I just worked out for the past 3 hours. So yeah, the COD community ripped into Activision for the unbearable SBMM. But here's the disgusting part. According to Charlie Intel, Activision silenced developers from talking at all about skill-based matchmaking. Sledgehammer even held an early Q&A regarding Modern Warfare 3, and what do you think nearly all the questions were about? Skill-based matchmaking. It's insane the gymnastics Activision has been doing the past 4 years, and beyond that, to avoid any conversation about SBMM. It's just so shady. Even Optic Scump, he's been very vocal. He's addressed the issues he has run into regarding skill-based matchmaking in MW3, claiming he believes it's super cranked this year.
Skill-based this year is super cranked, and I don't know if that's because the player base is going down or what the fuck's happening, but dude.
Look at this exchange between Charlie Intel and a COD fan who claims he hopes Xbox will fix the skill-based matchmaking issue. But Charlie actually sums it up perfectly, which is surprising, saying, dude, you don't really get it. If the system is making Activision money, why would Microsoft get rid of it? Evidently, skill-based matchmaking is working out great for them. Otherwise, it would have been addressed and gone at this point. Which, by the way, it's actually finally being addressed, which came out a little later. But who knows if this means anything positive for the future of Call of Duty, but seems like a bit of fluff. But as long as Call of Duty is succeeding at raking in all that money from the players, SBMM will never leave COD, and it will continue to ruin the multiplayer experience for many players. I also absolutely despise this pay-to-win aspect of Call of Duty nowadays. The Groot skin made it so obvious to me that the hitboxes seem to be smaller on these Battle Pass and bundle skins, making them harder to hit, especially when the default skin I use appears to be a much easier target to hit, having a bigger hitbox. They literally had to cancel the Groot skin to essentially nerf it so it wasn't see-through. But all things considered, Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer is one of the better experiences in recent years for Call of Duty, light years ahead of MW2 2022. I still might give the nod to Black Ops Cold War, but this ranks up close with it, because you have to remember that game was sweaty as all hell too, and generated tons of controversy around SBMM. Overall, multiplayer has a solid foundation, but as we know, skill-based matchmaking is handcuffing it, and there's nothing we can really do to stop it. All in all, Modern Warfare 3 is a very mediocre game. It has the worst campaign ever, a fun yet repetitive zombies mode, and a solid multiplayer foundation that is ruined by skill-based matchmaking. Multiplayer in zombies may very well improve as it continues to update over each season, so I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all, but I might have to make a follow-up video at some point on how Modern Warfare 3 has progressed over time. However, I definitely would not recommend anyone to buy this game at full price, especially considering it's a $70 DLC scam. If you're really desperate to play Modern Warfare 3 and buy the yearly Call of Duty release, I'd wait for a big sale so that you're not paying an unfair price to Activision. Thank you for watching my first ever full game review. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped you make up your mind about this year's Call of Duty. Subscribe if you're new for more enjoyable content, so hit that like button as well since you enjoyed, and comment what you guys think of Modern Warfare 3 being the greatest scam ever. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments. I'll most likely respond to you. Now before we sign off here, I have one more thing to say. I am a sentinel. 'Tis been one.